Hi guys, it's Miss Kerwin. I got Kara Kerwin here. We're going to read A Roar in the Darkness out loud to you. So this is our story for the week from Storyworks. And here is the cover page. And it says, Night after night, two lions hunted an army of men. What was behind these mysterious attacks?
We have
not.
Oh,
And then I need to go next page. All right, it says, Colonel J.H. Patterson was terrified. It was March 1898, and he was in the middle of an African forest. He had come to East Africa from England to help build a railroad through a 660-mile area of wilderness. Do you think it would be hard to build a railroad?
yeah.
Yeah. Patterson, an engineer, had known the job would be difficult. He had to lead a 4,000-man army of workers as they cut a path through a punishing African desert and a snake-infested jungle. You know how I feel about snakes.
I like snakes.
Oh, I do not like snakes. They worked with axes and knives in their bare hands. The baking sun beat down. There wasn't enough food or water. Does this sound fun?
No.
No. But after weeks of suffering, finally there was relief. Patterson and the workers had arrived in a place called the Tsavo Forest, I might be saying that wrong, where there were cool breezes and clear river water to drink. As Patterson wrote, the noise of our hammers echoed merrily. Within days, though, another sound echoed through the Tsavo Forest, screams of horror. No. Two male lions were stalking and eating the workers. Night after night, the big cats crept into the camp. They're eating people. The lions are eating the people.
Ew.
Shattering screams. Over the next 9 months, the lions would kill dozens of men. Do you know how many a dozen is?
It's like you can't even count.
No, it's a group of 12. So if there's dozens, that's multiple groups of 12. Oh my gosh. The animals were so clever that the workers were sure they were not actually lions. Some were convinced they were spirits, Patterson wrote, devils in lion's shape. The first hint of trouble had been the disappearance of two workers in the middle of the night. Witnesses swore they saw two lions burst into the open tent and drag the men away into darkness. But Patterson didn't believe it. It was rare for lions to attack humans, and when they did, they preyed on people who were by themselves. Patterson doubted that two lions would barge into a noisy and crowded camp. He found no lion prints or human remains. Maybe the two men had gotten tired of the back-breaking work and left camp on their own. What is your prediction? Do you think the people were actually eaten by lions, or do you think they just left?
They actually were eaten by lions.
What do you think,
Me
Kara?
too.
Yeah, I think so too. But a few nights later, the quiet night was shattered by screams once again. One of the most popular workers, an Indian man named Ungan Singh, was gone. This time, there was no doubt about what happened. 3 men had witnessed a gruesome attack. The lion had thrust its head through the open tent door and grabbed Singh with its mouth. Singh had struggled wildly as the lion dragged him out of the tent. Are you scared right now?
No.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you need to take a deep breath?
No.
And then up here, I just want to point out, here's a map of Kenya. And it says the Tsavo Forest, I don't know how to say that, is in the African country of Kenya. In the 1800s, England controlled this part of Africa. Next section. Oh, yeah, there's a beautiful tree that kind of shows us what the landscape looked like. Good idea. We'll look at that. All right, next subheading says Crazy with Fear. Patterson and another man followed a trail of fresh blood and enormous paw prints that led toward a cluster of thorny trees.
And what are these things?
I'll go through it. Don't worry. What little remained of Singh lay in a pool of blood, Patterson wrote. Over the next week, Patterson went after the lions with a single-minded focus. Each night, he stationed himself in the branches of a different tree where he would scan the darkness for hours at a time. He used live goats or donkey carcasses as bait to try to lure the lions, but they were not tempted by the bleating of the goats or the scent of fresh donkey. Instead, the attacks continued night after night. Hundreds of men fled the camps. All work on the railroad had stopped. If you were working on this railroad, would you stay around?
No.
Or would you leave? I'd leave too. I'd be like, I don't want the lion to eat me. Months passed. Finally, one December night, Patterson was perched on a shooting platform he had built of 4 poles and a slab of wood. And this is real. In the darkness, he heard the snapping of a twig and the sound of a large animal pushing through the dense shrubs. It was a lion. But it soon became clear that the lion wasn't simply lurking in the bush. He was stalking me, Patterson realized. The animal was circling and getting closer and closer, growling in a sinister manner. No. For hours, Patterson stood motionless as the lion circled below, its eyes glistening. Patterson's shooting platform was so flimsy that the lion could have toppled it with one good charge at the poles. I was for a moment rather certain that I was going to be its next victim. Do you think the lion's going to eat Patterson?
No. Yes. No.
No or yes? We don't know. We don't know, and either answer could be right. So he gathered his courage and took hold of his rifle. Steadying his shaking arms, he took aim and pulled the trigger. His shot exploded in the darkness and was followed by the most terrific roar. He could see the lion stagger into the bush.
Mama, did we do the
We didn't. We'll go back, I promise. He heard a loud thud and then silence. Yes, that's the Lion King down there. She sees the Lion King. Guys, he just shot the lion. This subheading is called Detective Work. Patterson climbed down his platform. As dawn broke, he followed a blood trail through the bush. Then he discovered the lion, truly stone dead. Workers rushed over to Patterson and they lifted him high in the air. They paraded him around the camp, shouting with joy. The celebration became even more jubilant 9 days later when Patterson managed to kill the second lion. The terror of the lions had finally ended, so they're all like, woohoo, we killed the lions.
Well, there's only 2 lions.
For more than a century, the story of the lions of Tsavo had fascinated people around the world. Patterson wrote a book about the attacks. The Field Museum in Chicago purchased the lions' bodies and put them on display. Here's the picture of that. It says, today the bodies of these lions are on display at the Field Museum in Chicago. Unlike most male lions, these ones do not have manes. But in recent years, the way people think about these animals has changed. Field Museum scientists have studied the lion's teeth and hides. They have learned more about what was happening in that part of Africa in 1898. Like detectives, they put together pieces of information to create a complete understanding of why these animals behaved as they did. Last section is called Modern Answers. The scientists have proven that the 2 lions were not just murderers on a killing spree. They were hungry animals coping with many challenges. There was a drought in the area during the year of these killings. A drought means they didn't have a lot of water to drink. There was also an outbreak of a disease called rinderpest. The disease and water shortage killed many animals that lions normally prey on, like wildebeests and antelopes. Adding to the lions' challenges, one had serious tooth problems, which would have made hunting really difficult. So when Patterson led his workers into the wilds of Africa, he and his men didn't face 2 brutal killers. These men crossed paths with 2 weakened and hungry animals. Now I kind of feel bad for the lions. They were just trying to find some food to eat, right?
Well, they still ate the people.
They still ate the people, though, which isn't great, yeah. Today, lions in Tsavo and across Africa are facing even graver challenges. Hunters, poachers, a loss of their natural lands to farmers and ranchers. Like many wild animals around the world, lions are fighting for survival. So this stinks for them because the lions are just trying to live, but people keep killing them. So now, Kara, let's go back down to this little graphic underneath. It started on the page before, and it says Lions Through the Ages. So since ancient times, these massive cats have inspired our awe, fear, and love. It's kind of like how we perceive lions throughout time. No, my love. So lion mummies. Lions were worshipped in ancient Egypt. They were kept as pets for powerful kings and pharaohs. And some lions were even turned into mummies. Would you want a lion as a pet?
Oh, yes.
I'm a big no. I would be afraid the lion would eat me, but... Oh, you okay, love?
Yeah.
It's okay. Get up. Fell off his chair. Fierce fighters. In the ancient Rome, lions fought in fierce battles with warriors called gladiators. The audience cheered when the lions entered the arena. Would you like to fight a lion?
No.
It's a big no for me. Lion tamers. Beginning in the 1800s, daring lion tamers became popular circus performers. The top trick? Sticking their entire head inside a lion's mouth. No, thank you. Football stars. Detroit's football team became known as the Lions in 1934. The owner of the team wanted it to rule over the NFL like lions rule over other creatures. That's a football team. And then there's the Lion King. We know that, don't we?
Is this the line that's right here?
I would want to stick my head in.
I would not want to either, no. The animated movie The Lion King became an instant hit in 1994, creating a new generation of lion lovers. What did you say, my love?
Is that the line that's right here?
Mm-hmm. And then changing ideas. In 1996, the world officially recognized that lions need to be protected. They were listed as vulnerable by the International Union of Conservation of Nature. So now we need to kind of protect these lions because they're dying off, and we need them to keep our ecosystem going. The environment, you're right. So that is our story, and we will stop there.